Demonstrations across the country.
I would appeal to the president to stop the ICE raids so that we can have stability in our city.
Protesting President Donald Trump's immigration policies. Miami celebrating 1 year left.
Welcome, 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 everyone.
Until the FIFA World Cup starts. And he's gone country.
Loved every single second of it. I had so much fun.
One of music's biggest rock stars visits the Hard Rock. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Mauro Rueda.
I'm Valentina Gaspari. Today is Thursday, June 12th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
We begin with breaking news after an Air India flight crashes minutes after takeoff, killing several people on the ground. We are learning more information this morning from India after an Air India flight heading to London crashes shortly after takeoff.
Rescue teams are currently on the scene in Ahmedabad after flight AI-171 crashed into a residential area. At last check, the bodies of 30 to 35 crash victims have been recovered. The flight had 242 people on board and was headed to an airport in London when it lost signal less than a minute after takeoff. The cause of the crash is currently under investigation. The story is still developing, and we will have much more tomorrow on Newsbreak.
Millions of demonstrators from across the country are taking to the streets this morning as they protest President Trump's immigration policies. The president wants to, quote, restore law and order, but officials say protesters are following the constitutional law of the First Amendment rights. Caplin News reporter Stephanie Tena is in the control room with more details.
Protests are erupting in cities across the country in response to President Trump's immigration policies. In Los Angeles, tensions are high as arrests rise and curfews are enforced. Thousands are taking to the streets across the country to protest immigration and customs enforcement. The epicenter is Los Angeles. City officials said the vast majority of demonstrators here are following the law.
When these peaceful rallies end and the protesters head home, another element moves in.
But the number of people arrested during the protests is rising. Nearly 200 were taken into custody on Tuesday before a small part of the city were under curfew.
I would appeal to the president to stop the ICE raids so that we can have stability in our city.
National Guard members are in LA against the governor's wishes. A U.S. official says hundreds of Marines the president mobilized have been briefed on rules for use of force on American soil.
This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk.
The White House says undocumented immigrants broke the law by entering the U.S. illegally. Demonstrators say ICE shouldn't go after those who are otherwise law-abiding. As the debate over immigration enforcement continues, demonstrators say they're not backing down. For Caplin News, I'm Stephanie Tena.
People prepare to leave this morning as the White House gets ready to evacuate the U.S. Embassy in Iraq after heightened tensions in the region. Officials say the decision was made after a recent examining of American personnel abroad. The reason for the heightened concern is not evident at this time.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are we've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
The Iraqi government says they are unaware of any security threats grave enough to warrant a U.S. evacuation.
Music lovers are mourning today after Beach Boys co-founder Brian Wilson was announced dead. Wilson's family announced his death on their Instagram yesterday. Like many of his contemporaries, Wilson experienced with drugs in the 60s and 70s. Relatives say this left him with side effects for the rest of his life, including hearing voices, schizophrenia, and dementia. Brian Wilson was 82 years old.
We're officially less than a year away from the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and as South Florida prepares to be one of the hosts, the city of Miami celebrates the start of the countdown with local leaders and special guests. Caplin's Jose Carlos Rodriguez was there and has more on the event.
The countdown is officially on, and here at the Paris Art Museum, Miami kicks off its road to the FIFA World Cup 2026. It does it with music, culture, and a whole lot of city pride.
3, 2, 1.
With 1 year until kickoff, Miami is officially counting down the days to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. A celebration at the Paris Art Museum welcomed leaders, artists, and fans to warm up before the big event.
This is about our passion, our family, about the world. It's also an economic boon for our community.
And this event came with star power. Mark Anthony premiered a video presenting Miami to the world, and Colombian artist Mr. Bling gifted him a custom-made soccer ball inspired by the city.
I had the opportunity to come here today, 1 year before the World Cup begins, with a unique piece inspired by Miami, its colors, its buildings, and all the beauty that this city has to offer.
Miami. But this celebration was also about vision. The road to hosting the World Cup began years ago, with local leaders pushing to bring the tournament home.
The project to acquire the World Cup and in Miami as a host city started in 2017. So to be 1 year out, and for sure, the World Cup's going to be here for our kids, our families, our communities, is just exhilarating.
Now, this World Cup is fueling hopes for long-term impact. Miami FC youth coach Johnny Hines says this moment as a foundation for the future.
What we do now will be like in the 1994 World Cup. 20 years time, MLS maybe might be the biggest soccer competition in the world.
And there's no mistaking it. Miami's leading the charge in America's soccer movement.
FIFA are here, Barca Academy are here, Inter Miami here, Messi's here. All we need is Ronaldo to come along here now.
But perhaps no one said it better than the man chosen to represent the city to the world.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone is welcome.
Today's celebration marks the start of a year-long journey. In Miami, it's all in and ready to show the world what it's made of. From the Paris Art Museum, I'm Jose Carlos Rodriguez, Caplin News.
Fort Lauderdale-based airline is shutting its doors this morning after filing for bankruptcy. Silver Airways announced its closure yesterday, and customers who have tickets for flights are advised not to go to the airport. The airline says refunds will be issued through credit card companies and travel agencies.
With Father's Day around the corner, the Doral Cultural Arts Center is bringing a story that honors the bond between generations by giving voice to those silenced during one of Cuba's darkest chapters. Caplin News reporter Paola Sirignano experienced the play and tells us more about this powerful story.
Here in Doral, a new immersive play is giving voice to those silenced during one of history's most tense moments. Las Paredes Oyen transports audiences back to the Cuban Missile Crisis, not through politics, but through the eyes of Cuba's forgotten prisoners. In a time when freedom of speech was punished, this play gives voice to those who had none. For playwright Robbie Ramos, the inspiration came from a deeply personal place, his grandfather, a political prisoner in Cuba.
Is probably the most important right that we have as people, and I think the play really hits on that, where it's like, look, I may disagree with you and your points of view on things, but the ability to talk through them is essential to creating a society that we can all kind of live together. Otherwise, everyone's being silenced and not being able to say what they feel. So the walls have ears. La Paredes Oyen, I think, reflects that message.
The play doesn't just retell history. It challenges the audience to see the cost of silence. And for the cast, it's a powerful reminder of resistance in the fight for truth.
Knowing that there was resistance, knowing that the fight for freedom of expression and freedom to speak your beliefs did happen. Knowledge of the Cuban Missile Crisis, which is something I didn't even know about because they don't teach you that history in Cuba.
The emotional weight of Las Paredes Oyen isn't lost on its audience. For many, it's not just a history lesson. It's a personal experience.
So the entire time I was actually very emotional. I didn't know what to expect when I first got here. I didn't know it was in English and Spanish. I loved that aspect of it, and it was very emotional. All the actors did such a great job telling the story.
Las Paredes Oyen is more than a performance. It's a living tribute to those who were silenced during such difficult times. And in a community filled with Cuban voices and stories, it's a topic that's still relevant today. Las Paredes Oyen offers us a glimpse into the past, but it's the emotion, truth, and strength behind each word that truly leaves a mark. If the story speaks to you, you can experience it at the Doral Cultural Arts Center from June 15th to July 6th, and tickets are available at lasparedesoyen.com. For Caplin News, I'm Paola Sirignano.
The Marlins heading to the nation's capital as their away game streak continues, and an annual baseball game bringing in members of Congress to the field.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
He has been such an influence on me since I was young, since White Iverson came out.
Fans going in circles and becoming rock stars as a special celebrity makes a pit stop in South Florida for his tour. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Known for his pop records, this music icon has hosted a country concert here in the 305. One of the most anticipated concerts of the summer brought fans of all ages together over the weekend.
That's right. Post Malone took the stage, delivering a show full of emotion, nostalgia, and unforgettable moments. Caplin News reporter Brianna Arias brings us a story.
Dozens of fans packed the venue tonight, but they didn't just come for the music. They came for the whole experience. Post Malone is bringing the energy, the emotion, and that signature sound that keeps fans coming for more. Post Malone lit up Miami with a night full of lights, lyrics, and raw emotion. From longtime fans to first-timers, the energy was undeniable. Some waited nearly a decade to see Post Malone live, and tonight they finally got the moment they have been dreaming of.
He has been such an influence on me since I was young, since White Iverson came out. I was in love with him ever since then, and I've been waiting for this opportunity to go and see him in concert.
On stage, Post delivered hit after hit. From nostalgic songs to his later country-inspired tracks, his versatility and connection to fans were center stage.
I felt like the transition was awesome. He did a great job of trying to get a lot of newer songs, older songs, bringing Jelly Roll into the mix. Just an old fan. I loved seeing, it was like nostalgic seeing his old songs, so it was cool.
The crowd reflected the power of his music. Teens, adults, and first-timers all sharing a night they will never forget.
I loved every single second of it. I had so much fun, and I think he's such a humble artist, and just his way of connecting with the fans was amazing.
With music that's deeply personal yet universally loved, Post Malone turned the stage into a space where everyone felt seen, heard, and connected. With raw vocals, big hits, and an unforgettable vibe, Post Malone proved once again why he's one of the most versatile artists of our time. And for the fans who show up tonight, it was a night to remember. Reporting for Caplin News, Brianna Arias.
The annual congressional baseball game brought lawmakers together in Washington, D.C. for a tradition which dates back more than 100 years and raises millions for charity. D.C. Bureau reporter Rosaura Mendoza grabbed her smartphone and a group of Florida-based interns to catch all the action.
Hey everyone, it's a big night here in Washington, D.C. It's the annual congressional baseball game. And it's just not about politics. It's about giving back. You got members of Congress from both parties stepping out to the plate, not for debate, but for charity.
Every summer, the Congressional Baseball Game brings lawmakers to National Park for a night of friendly competition and fundraising. It's a DC tradition that dates back over a century, raising millions for local charities.
And of course, here at the Congressional Baseball Game, you can see how congressmen from both parties interact with one another and how they bring so much people and supporters to see them for a good cause. So as somebody that's living in Miami, I have never seen something like this before. So it's really exciting to see people from all over the city.
In a polarized political climate, this game offers something rare, a pause in the partisan feud to support a good cause.
It's really cool to see kind of the Senate and the House come together and be able to actually have some sportsmanlike conduct, and play around, give us a good game to watch and keep it very, very entertaining throughout the time here as well. It really makes it feel like a united, not only Florida, but nation overall.
For the 5th year in a row, Republicans won 13-2. This year, the game raised almost $3 million for nonprofits like the Capitol Police Memorial Fund, the Washington Literacy Center, and the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Taking out from the Congressional Baseball Game is how, even though the country you can see and tell sometimes that is polarized or fragmented, you can see how the two parties are together enjoying one game, and also because it's bringing out like a huge cause behind it.
You don't see this every day. Democrats and Republicans playing on the same field. The Congressional Baseball Game is back, and it's all about friendly competition. Reporting from Washington, D.C., and for Caplin News, I'm Rosaura Mendoza.
And it was not a good day for the Miami Marlins in Pennsylvania going against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Fish trailed behind the entire game. The Pirates scored in the 2nd inning, but it was the 3 runs in the 5th that sealed the deal on the Marlins, and they couldn't manage to come back from that. The final score was Marlins 2, Pittsburgh 5. The Marlins will head to the nation's capital tomorrow to play the Washington Nationals at 6:45 p.m. And before we leave, I just want to say we want to wish the Panthers the best of luck tonight on Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the Edmonton Oilers, right?
Yes, we do. Vamos Gatos. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Mauro Rueda.
And I'm Valentina Gaspari. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.